Good evening, 12s, and welcome to the Seahawks 360 podcast. I'm Candace Hagens, and I am joined by a friend of the show, Joe Stevens of SeahawksTalk. How you doing, man?
Good. How about yourself?
I am great. I don't think you can get much better. The Seahawks are number one in the NFC, not just the NFC West, but the NFC. And Sam Darnold is coming off of an incredible comeback game that you were there to attend, stunning the Rams and beating them after coming back 16 points in the fourth, from down 16 points in the fourth quarter, which has never happened apparently in Seattle history. So
Yeah.
how was the experience? I've got to know. I mean, it looked electric on
Most of the
television.
game sucked. I think that's. I was talking to one of my friends today, and he's like, "Man, that one of the best games of all time." I go, "Yeah, for the last 8 minutes in overtime, it was the best game of all time. Other than that, it was kind of awful." But yeah, it got electric. Um, I guess just the vibe was high the whole time. I mean, it's pretty dire there in the fourth quarter. A lot of people started leaving.
Yeah, something.
Um, so I went. What happened? I went up to pee or get chicken or something during the drive when Darnold threw the interception to the defensive lineman.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
So I missed that, and I was like, I came back and I'm like, what just happened? And I go, oh great. So
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty much over. Then right after that, Shaheed returns that, and Charbonnet picked it up. So that was really interesting. If you want to go from there, because I know people are
Yeah.
mad about it, but I mean, it's not like he purposely fumbled. They're acting like he did like a holy roller, like Ken Stabler did in the '70s. I mean, he threw a backwards pass, it hit a defender, and it ended up in the end zone. It's not like so.
It's by the letter of the law. I mean, I get it because I mean, it sucks how it happened, and it sucks because it wasn't an intentional play by Zach Charbonnet. I think that's what pisses people off more than anything is like they weren't actively trying to get the 2 point conversion at that point. Everybody thought the play was dead. I know
Yeah.
the Rams fans are upset because there was a whistle blown, but that doesn't prevent the sky cam in New York from going and reviewing anything, regardless
Mhm.
of where when the whistle was blown. There are plenty of plays that happen on a every football game that the play is dead, and then New York makes a call and then it's changed. Like that's just football. It's how it works. I mean, they're just pissy about it. So,
Well, let's
but it
not.
was
I
legally
know
right play.
they can blame it on that, but like, I mean, you're up 16 points with 8 minutes to go. Maybe don't piss that away.
Right.
Maybe then you won't be angry about the fact that we got a pretty lucky break on a 2 point conversion, and don't act like we cheated. I mean
Yeah.
that didn't come from the field. That came from the league office or the officials in New York. That didn't come from here. And I guess one of my friends was saying on TV. I still haven't rewatched it, but well, I've rewatched the play, but I haven't like rewatched the game or anything. He was saying
Okay.
on TV that like before they said anything, Terry McCauley came in and said, "Hey guys, that was they might want to review this," and then they did. So
Yeah. I mean, the Rams fans really are focused on the wrong thing, in my opinion. The reality is your offense went good when you needed
mhm,
it the most. The defense got three and out, three and out, three and out. And then your defense couldn't make a stop when they needed to.
mhm,
So and I'm not even really gonna put that on the Rams offense. I feel like the Rams offense, you should be able to score with 37 points and be okay. So I mean they should really be upset with their defense, which has been a problem in previous games. It's not the first lead they've choked away. Let's the Eagles game that they lost, right? Like didn't they were dominating that game and then they just kind of gave up. It's not the first time. So, Rams fans, look at yourself in the mirror. But
yeah. And then they talk about all the bad calls against the Rams. There was one that I haven't brought up yet. I was talking about um Ty Okada got penalized for an unnecessary roughness, and that hit happened right in front of me. And I will tell you that's one of the cleanest plays I've seen. Trying to separate the ball from the receiver, obviously, and
yep.
they threw a flag. Um, and I thought it was going to be taunting by Turd Ferguson, their tight end,
Mhm.
but it It was an unnecessary roughness on Okada, and it's funny because I watched that referee, he never threw the flag until after, Ferguson spun that ball, the back judge. So it was, like, right in the line of sight of me.
Mm,
So, that was weird. There was a pass interference against us that I thought was a bad call.
mhm.
So, um, I
Bad
mean,
calls all around, and besides, the
yeah,
Rams literally just got 7 points gifted to them last week against I forget what team it was they were playing, oh, was it the Bucks? I don't know, I can't remember, but Kobe Parkinson's knee was clearly down like a yard and a half before he actually got to the end zone, and they still gave him the 7 points and didn't even really review it or anything, like, had they
yeah,
reviewed it, it would've got called back, so in my opinion, like, I mean, that's just kinda karma, sports karma, if you will. Like, it's just how it works, man. And it's ridiculous for the LA Rams of all people to of all teams really to be complaining about ref calls when they've been gifted how many? I mean, penalty after penalty that normally they're the ones that are in, like being favored when it comes to ref calls.
yeah, I thought it was pretty even
Mhm.
the
I
whole
think so.
game, and then, like I said, they just get online and bitch because their team gave up a massive fourth quarter lead, and, they don't wanna blame it on their team blowing a lead, they wanna blame it on one play.
Mhm.
They wanna blame it on that one Charbonnet play, and then there was the other one. The guy was downfield. I don't care what letter of the law, I guess the guy came in and said that he wasn't really downfield, but the the offensive guard or tackle was definitely downfield, right? And they
Yeah.
say um,
Read.
because he was
Yeah, right.
blocking, he's allowed to go forward. Well, it's like, no, not really, because then wouldn't that be illegal contact
Mhm.
if he's making contact with a defender downfield? So
That's a good
I
point.
I don't know.
And it's funny because they were so, when it was Seahawks fans and we were like we were really close to winning that game. We were like, honestly, it just comes down to the punt, having it like the punter having an amazing punt at the 1 yard line when it matters the most, and how
Oh,
the
last
Seahawks
game?
still had an opportunity. Yeah, like the Seahawks still had an opportunity to win that, and and all the LA fans were like, "Oh, shut up, you guys are just coping or whatever." And like the takeaways that the LA Rams have are worse. Like at least our takes about how we felt coming out of that last matchup was about football. Like we were just like a play here, a play there, and despite all of the mistakes, we still could have beat you. And then they proved it in the very next game. I mean, how many times did we say like I think I said if he throws 3 interceptions instead of 4, like the
Yeah.
Seahawks win that game, and they went out and proved it, and now the LA Rams. I mean, the fans they're mad about it, and like yeah,
Yeah, I mean, they outplayed us, but I think we outplayed them in the first game.
yeah,
So,
we did, and
I
still lost.
yeah, exactly. I think it was kind of roles reversed, except
Mhm.
for, their quarterback played really well, and our quarterback didn't play very good the first time.
Yeah.
But as a team, I think we outplayed them last time.
Yes.
Uh, what else? Sam was, pretty awful for not awful,
Yeah,
but
let's talk about Sam. Like, what's your take on, a lot of folks, my take has never been being out on Sam. I just, philosophically, that's just not how I just don't think quarterbacks grow on trees. So I'm not team get rid of a guy, and throw him out
yeah,
the
what are
baby out with the bathwater. But that's just me. But anyway, I'm curious. It's like you're watching that game, you're watching him make a couple really bad decisions in the moment. Like, are you out on Sam in that moment? You're like trade him, or like where are you?
no, because who are we gonna put in? Drew Lock.
That's
I
how I
mean,
feel.
and then Uh, Jalen Jalen Milrow, right? It's like,
Yeah.
do we really have better options? And then he comes in and leads a comeback. I mean, I've never been out on him at all this year, except for the first game. The first game is the only game where I was like, I'm out on him against because he we drove down the field and they fumbled the ball.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
That's fair. That's fair. And
um,
and it was the team looked completely different. Like the offense didn't really look functional. Like, and we didn't have a recipe of him like watch not a recipe, but like a backlog of watching him do well. You know what I mean in the Seahawks uniform. So that
yeah,
I kind of get that. But that's kind of where I stand on the whole thing.
he
And
made
a
an
lot of people
awesome
still,
he made an
yeah,
awesome throw to Cooper Cup. I don't.
incredible
Yeah, it
though.
was in overtime. It was right in front of me. And, the guy that went to the game with me, as soon as Cup broke, on his route, he ran like a corner route. I go 10, and he just threw a dime to number 10 in overtime to I don't know if you remember that catch. It was
Yes.
on the sideline, kind of a toe drag.
Incredible, incredible catch.
It actually looked better on TV. Like, it
Yeah.
looked more impressive on TV than it did in person because
It was crazy looking, yeah, on TV, it came across, you saw the toe drag, and it was redemption in my mind for the fumble, that Cup had earlier.
yeah, no, I was pissed about that.
Yeah,
Um, I think I was more mad about that than the interceptions.
rightfully so.
Well, because the second one, obviously, I didn't even see it. I just heard about when I got back, and I was like, "Oh, okay, sick, whatever." Um, but yeah, the fumble, I was like, "Dude, we're driving down. It's right before halftime, right? We're gonna get some points." And then that happens, and I just look. I'm like, "Dude, you're not playing for the Rams anymore." I was like, "Did you forget?"
I know, right? I was like, "We really got the leftovers." In that moment, I'm like, "Man," because Ernest Jones had already, like, gotten killed in this one particular big pass on Puka Nacua. Like, he tried to gamble and break up the pass, and he basically got beat and tried to see if he could
I
break the
saw that, or I
down,
remember
and
that.
I was like, "Shoot." And then Cooper Kupp, like, fumbles it, and I'm like, "Man." We were really making the Rams look good for, like, letting these guys go right now. It's not good storyline wise, uh, but yeah, man, I my opinion on Sam, he just kind of is who he is. I think on that same throw that he made to Cooper Cup was a similar throw actually that he got picked off on, where Kobe Turner, I think was a defensive lineman that picked him off. Like he was getting hit, going back, throws it up. I mean, it's literally the same thing, and so it's kind of like you take the good with the bad. And we've seen this offense. We've seen him try to be better. Like the past few games, he's tried to be better about taking care of the ball. Like he hadn't been throwing interceptions, but also the offense didn't look as good. So I just kind of feel like,
No, they look terrible.
yeah, I mean, you just got to kind of take what you get with this guy. Like, yes, is he going to put the ball in harm's way? But I honestly just feel like most of the quarterbacks in NFL history, like the good ones, were like that. Like they threw picks sometimes because there's a super fine line between being aggressive and explosive and then making a bad decision. Like,
Well, and I guess so. Pro Football Focus, I just hear this from other people talking on the radio, but Pro Football Focus has a stat called big time throws. I don't
yeah.
know how it's evaluated, but he's second in the NFL in big time throws
Mhm.
completed. Stafford's number one, and then turnover worthy plays. I think he's seventh worst, but as a
Yeah,
quarterback,
all right.
but still, it's not. I think so. He has less turnover worthy plays than Trevor Lawrence. I think Dak Prescott, Patrick Mahomes, names like that,
Mhm.
and he has more interceptions because I think he gets unlucky a lot of the time with some of the turnover worthy
Oh, I'm
plays.
sorry. Yeah.
And it seems like they don't really have butterfingers defensive backs when they're playing against Sam Darnold. They catch everything.
Yeah, because I mean, who's Matt Stafford throws a ton of them. I mean, Matt Stafford is there are so many opportunities that like a DB drops a ball. Like pisses me off every time I
What
see
was
it.
that? I'm kind of drawing a blank right now, but I think we were penalized. We definitely were penalized, but Josh Jobe almost had an interception in
Yes.
overtime.
Mhm.
What was the penalty again? I, I can't
Was it
remember.
Boston? I can't remember.
It
I
was
can't
on us. So, like, the play didn't count even if he did get the pick, but, um, God, I don't remember what it was now.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I will be honest, I stopped paying attention. Like there was a point in the game and I was like, "All right, we
No,
lost."
this was in overtime.
Wait, in overtime?
Yeah, in overtime, I'm, like,
I thought that was
99%.
Ernest Jones. Wasn't that Ernest Jones? Ernest Jones had a pick. Well, no, that's
Yeah,
that one
Ernest
still
that
that
was
one hit the ground
that
though.
was a different one, though. That that one how that l they show us the replay, and it kinda looked like an incomplete pass, but some people were saying it looked like a completed pass on
To me,
TV. I didn't rewatch that one either, so
to me, it looked like he caught it, but I get what they were. I just think it should have counted. But anyway, I mean, I'm not.
it
I won't get caught up in semantics and riffing and whatever.
well,
I'm not a Rams
a
fan.
field goal would've won that game if that would've counted as an interception,
Yeah,
so
exactly. I mean,
and I
there's so
think it
many
was the
things in this game.
play after or 2 plays after that Puka Nacua had that long touchdown.
Yes.
Who's nuts, by the way. Who would have thought that guy's crazy? I thought he was pretty chill for a long time until, like, this last week. He's insane.
He is insane. He's like he's like I saw somebody say he's like speed rushing the Antonio Brown career arc. Like,
Dude,
yeah, that's how it looks like.
I always thought he was kind of a chill guy, and then I learned who Aiden Ross is this week. Had never heard of him before.
Me neither.
Um,
And he's
and
got
then
the
he
cat.
does you know what? This is kind of controversial, but the dance, like, I didn't even understand it when I saw it, so I was just like, "Oh, okay, whatever." Mainly because, like, I'm not, you know, I wasn't
I
thinking
saw
about
the context when they, yeah, I'm with you. I saw when they
yeah,
figured it
but
out.
the referee stuff, I was like, "Damn, dude, he's gonna get fined." And he better backtrack that, and then he doubled down after the game that the ref stole the game from the Rams, which fuels their fans even more to be like, "Oh, see, look." Yeah, but that guy's nuts now. So,
Yes.
did you see the
Yeah.
clip where he said, "I think, concussions aren't really real," or something?
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah, he
I saw
said
the
he
last
thinks
thing.
he's like, "I think they're all in your head," and I'm like, "Well, technically he's right. They are in your head, but they but not in the way that you're saying it." Dude, he's nuts. He's insane.
Yeah, I wonder if he was always like that or if it's one of those things where like, you know,
He's famous now?
yeah, he's famous now and it brings out the worst in him. Or, I mean, I guess it's too early for CTE, but we know that's what
Nah,
happened with
I'm tired of blaming stuff on that. Mainly because, like, I don't know, guys played in, like, the, 70s, 80s, 90s, and, like, you heard about him, like, being weird, but I feel like nowadays, like, people like Antonio Brown just, like, do crazy shit to do crazy shit and then just are like, "Oh, CTE, dude. It's fine."
I will say Antonio Brown, I believe him, but I mean, it is kind of a running joke that like we blame it on everything now. It's not responsible for everything, but I believe that Antonio Brown was not that crazy. Now, part of it is money because the money brings out, you know,
Yeah, believe it or
their
not.
qualities. Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe it's because of that, but he hasn't gotten paid yet, has he? Like Puka,
No.
he's not. He
No,
can't.
he's due for an extension next year.
LOL. Okay,
That
good luck with that.
I mean, on the field, he was awesome. Let's not he 225 yards against us.
I didn't think he'd catch JSN, and so now I'm worried about JSN.
I'm
Like,
not worried.
JSN
You
deserves to lead the
you
league, the
know
wide
I'm not worried
receivers.
about it because
You're
I
not
think
worried?
he's not worried about it. That's what I love about him. There was what was the game? It wasn't the Atlanta game? What game? The Vikings game, when he had, like, what, like,
23.
2 catches for 20 yards or something,
Mhm.
and he
Right.
goes, "I don't care as long as we won the game," and that's what I love about Jackson Smith and Jigba, because we didn't know how he'd respond, uh, because we haven't seen it this year, right?
Yeah.
We didn't know how he'd respond to not being a focal point of the offense, and we did. He's like, "We won the game. Why should I care? That's all I care about." And I love that.
Yeah. That's awesome. I mean, just another reason, like, Puka's doing all this crap and JSN's just
Pretty
working,
humble.
grinding.
He's
Yeah.
and I think he's better. Like, I don't know, I just think as a pure receiver, he's not the biggest, fast, strongest, but he has really good and he can run really good routes. So,
I agree.
yeah.
I think he's better for me and my I think he's better because he's not I understand Puka's played less games,
Mhm.
but I actually gotta check this. I was wondering how I know JSN still had significantly less targets. Like this despite the fact that Puka had missed games. I'm curious now. My guess would still be that JSN still has a boatload less targets than Puka and is still putting up the same production. And so that to me is just like I don't even think you could debate that. That's why he's better. And
Yeah.
Puka's got a style that I feel like he's so physical that I don't know that his prime is going to be that extended, if that makes sense.
JSN is hard to tackle, though. He ducks out of bounds and stuff, but, I mean, if he doesn't have to take a big hit and he's breaking a tackle, I mean, he does not go down easy.
No, no, he doesn't. His I think he's the most complete wide receiver in Seahawks history
Yeah.
because he can do everything. Like Tyler Lockett and Doug Baldwin, for as great as they were, and Steve Largent, obviously, like his ability to get yak, which was missing for years and in recent years from like the Seahawks offenses, like it's unmatched. He's got the route running, he's got the hands, I mean, he's got everything, I think. I mean, he's not known as a guy that's going to beat you over the top, but he can.
Yeah.
beat you over the top. Like,
Mhm. Well,
yeah, I don't know if
now that we got Shaheed, dude, we got a guy that can go over the top. Even though no catches on Thursday night, but that's fine because he had the we talked about that big punt return
mhm.
touchdown, and then the very next drive he had a huge end around for 31 yards. That really set the Seahawks up to score. So I hated the trade the first couple weeks. I was like,
Really?
not even because of the fourth and the fifth rounder, like that didn't bug me that much because they were such like low draft picks. I was just like, man, this was like a waste of time. Um, because it seemed like he did nothing, but the past couple of games he's really helped out.
I was a big fan. I was because I felt like if nothing else, I thought he was going to improve our run game. The stack boxes that the Seahawks were facing was leading the league at that point, and people, as good as JSM was playing, people just weren't changing their coverages accordingly. They were willing to live with the explosive plays. And I felt like Shaheed had a big, like, we had a boost in the run game, at least into the Colts game, when we really saw some progress in that way. And I also just felt like he was going to eventually find his rhythm. Like, I wasn't worried about the fact that he didn't have the numbers
Hmm.
because he didn't have the chemistry with Sam. And that was, I mean, I think for Sam, that seems to matter quite a bit. Like, he doesn't. I think he seems to have better chemistry with like a Cody White even
Yeah,
than he does with Shaheed. And I just think that's a timing thing. Like, Sam has to fill you out because by all the reports, he and JSN struggled in the training, like training camp reports were that they weren't on the same page early on. He looked really bad. So I think it'll take a minute next season if they bring him back, which I assume they will. I think he'll be like we'll see the return, kind of like the Leonard Williams trade, you know?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We were talking. Me and my friend were like, dude, that has to be one of the best in-season trades that the Seahawks ever pulled. And we're like, well, Leonard Williams and Ernest Jones, they've been doing pretty good at their mid-season acquisitions as of late.
Hmm.
Um, he said best ever, and then I immediately said Marshawn Lynch. He's like, yeah, I'll give you that one. That one was probably the best.
Yeah.
um, but yeah, so he was electric, and then for some reason I thought Eric Saubert was number 89, but I did when he caught that pass, that 2-point conversion. Somebody said, "Who is that?" I'm like, "I think it's Saubert, dude." And it was. I thought I was wrong too. I was like, "Ah, I'm just," I just was excited. I just named a name of a tight end, and that was awesome watching it.
Yes.
That happened right in front of me. So I'm on like the 10-yard line,
Nice.
um, in that end zone. So it was weird to see it, and you're like, "Oh shit, they should have kicked it. They should have kicked it." And then you see he was blocking it first, and then he just kind of snuck past the line of scrimmage and turned around and was wide open. That was awesome, and it was awesome for Sam to see him,
Yes.
right down the middle.
Because he went through all his progressions. Like, I think Saubert had to be like the fourth week. Like, there's no way they drew that play up to go to
No,
Eric Saubert.
yeah, and then I wanted to give a shout out. I thought Jones played very good. Um,
Yes. Josh
Josh
Jones.
Jones. So that first play, the first big play to Kenneth Walker, that screen pass, everybody talks about Zabel downfield, but if you watch it, Josh Jones is the one that secures the edge on that play. And that
True.
play would have been nothing without him on the edge. So I thought that was sweet to see because what's the deal with Cross? Will he be back next week?
Uh, it's a hamstring. Hamstrings are tricky. Like, if I had to guess, like gut check guess, they're gonna hold him out for this game and they'll see if he can play against the 49ers. And especially with the mini bye week, he'll heal up in that game. But it's possible we don't even see him to the playoffs. Kind of the implication, I heard one of the reporters, I don't remember which one, say it could be weeks. Like, it's not an immediate thing.
Hmm.
And hamstrings are tricky because they did that with Julian Love. Like, they brought him back for a divisional game against the Cardinals, and they ended up missing a ton more time. So they'll probably be more
Oh, yeah.
cautious in those situations. Is my guess.
That's right. And then, sorry, I'm getting so off track here.
No, you're good.
Uh, any word
Crazy.
on So it sounded like Eamon Wari would have came back if they
Yes.
had another defensive drive, so that's good. He
Mhm.
gets hurt every game. I don't know if I've talked to you about that, but I've definitely talked to my other co-host Zach about it.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Not like injured every game,
Mhm.
but he ain't afraid to come out of the game. That's for sure. He's like, "Oh, get me out." It's scary though. They replayed uh, the Ian Worry injury, and dude, it looked like he hurt his shoulder pretty bad. That's what it looked like on the screen. I haven't checked anything. And then Kobe Bryant and Reek Woolen were also hurt. So how any word on those guys?
Yeah, I was just listening to Dan Vance earlier, or I don't know. I just have these things on rotation. I'm always listening to content. But anyway,
Mhm.
I heard someone say that the thought some insider said that Rick Woolen is not as major of a thing. There is a question like he would be questionable going into this week, but we'll see how what they look like with the extra time. It's possible that he plays. Kobe Bryant might miss some time though.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was assuming.
Yeah,
I heard it was like a lower leg injury or something. So
yeah.
I don't know.
Rick should be back.
Just gives time for my guy Ty Okada to come in and fly around.
Yes.
I can't believe. I don't know. At least Julian Love's back, right?
Yeah.
Um,
I like Ty Okada though, and Kobe struggled, against the Rams. At least it was a rough game for him. Speaking of rough games, dude, I'm sick of
what
Joe. I'm,
75?
I'm sick of Job. Job, I'm sick of him.
Oh, Josh Jobe.
Play
Sorry.
Reek. Play Reek. Like, stop. Watch. How many yards do you think that Josh Joe single handedly gave up against Puka Nakua? And it's like every time I didn't even really see a ton of Woolen on Puka. When in the first matchup before Puka went out, that is, Rick
Mhm.
Woolen had been doing a really good job on him. So I just couldn't understand what the game plan was defensively.
So I know this was kind of hard to tell on TV, but I'm gonna go back to my text here to my co-host Zach.
Uh,
I texted him during the game. Where is it? Um, let's see. Let's go to the very first one. I said, "Is Woolen out?" And he said, "No." I said, "He hasn't been on the field," and that was the first. I think it was up until the second, fourth down attempt that the
mhm.
Rams had that he just wasn't on the field, and
Yes.
I was like, "Oh, is he hurt?" And then I said, "Never mind, Woolen's back on the field." So yeah,
Yeah.
they like them some Job compared to Reek.
I don't know why. I mean, he's really been getting picked on lately. I feel like that was a really big problem in the Colts game. Like
Hmm.
they just kind of kept picking on him. Like a lot of times, those third down conversions, they get to third down and then they pick on Joe. Now it's a third down conversion, and now you're straight out in the field. Like it happened every day. Teams know they can go to him because they're not going at Witherspoon, right? And I just like the tandem of Woolen, who's been playing very well. Like I feel like he's
Yeah,
earned his spot back. Even if you want to play Joe, cool, but like still give Reek the majority of the snaps at this point. And it's apparent that he's the better guy.
yeah. It's like when when they went into dime, that's when they'd have Woolen come out because
Yeah.
because I guess what would you call it, like big dime or something? I don't know, because they'd have three safeties, and then they'd have at the beginning of the game they'd have Bryant, Eamon, Love, Job, and Witherspoon out there, and then they'd sub out Drake 42, Drake Thomas,
Hmm.
and then for Woolen, and
Yeah.
that's
Let me
what seemed
see.
like they were doing the first drive.
Rick Woolen played, I think it was one of his lowest. He played 46% of the snaps compared to Job. Why am I overlooking him? Going
That's
back.
what you do. You're just overlooking Job.
He's
Sorry.
up here. See, 71%. That's
Yeah.
insane. And that's the worst split. That's the worst split. Because I kind of been monitoring that, like how they've been using them both. It normally was Reek at about 50 or 60%, and Joe would also have about maybe 65%. Um, I just don't know what Job showed to deserve that. He's kind of been on the downfall, I'd say, since like week 7 or 8.
Hmm. Yeah, and did is Pritchett in? Has Pritchett played a lot?
Yeah, Pritchard, he didn't play a lot. He played 13 snaps on defense
Because I
on
was gonna
night
say I want to say one of those
first.
plays.
That team
that
was
we
trash.
got called pass interference on was Pritchett. That was
Mhm.
the defender, and I thought it was a good defense. Um, yeah, that was a game. I'll tell you what, though, that was looking back on it. I kind of wish we would just dominated them. That's what I was hoping for. I was hoping for like a 2012. I don't know if you remember the Seahawks lost in San Francisco. They came up here at the very end of the season and we beat them 43-7, something like that.
Mhm.
And then the 49ers actually went on to go to the Super Bowl that year. But I was kind of hoping a performance like that, but who knows? Now we got to see the 49ers next Sunday for first place in the division. Who'd have thunk it?
Yep, do it all again. Fun stuff. Like it's that reminds me of like 2019 basically type thing.
Let's not bring that up. That game sucked.
Yeah, it did. I
One
know,
yard
but I'm
short.
hoping that we can redeem ourselves. That this team is better than that team was, honestly.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
And I think a lot of I know the 49ers themselves aren't looking over the Seahawks. I don't think their fans have paid much attention to the Seahawks since week 1 because they're acting like it's a foregone conclusion that they're division champs. And I'm like, you guys might want to check yourself. That because they're thinking Sam Darnold is Sam Darnold, and the only times they see him are when he plays the Rams. And to be fair, those were probably 2 of his worst games, were
right.
the last Rams games. And I I think these 49ers fans are in for a rude awakening in 2 weeks if they beat the Colts um, on Monday. And who are we playing? Wait,
We play the
they have
Panthers.
2 more games in front of us.
Yeah, they've got
It's so weird playing on
the Bears.
Thursday.
They got to play the Bears.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
play the
you
Bears.
bet. I don't know. I think their fans are definitely overlooking the Seahawks.
They are because, and I will say this: like the 49ers have owned the Seahawks. That's the reality. Like for as
Mhm.
much as the Rams have owned the Seahawks, also the 49ers have, and so
Yeah, since
it is a little delusional because of how injured they
2022.
are. Yeah, yeah. In fact, the only thing we've dominated in the division are the Cardinals. It's been
Tight.
kind of sad.
Yeah, it's been nice. Hate the
It's
Cardinals, dude, just because.
I feel bad for the Cardinals. I pity them, really. The Cardinals. It's kind of sad. But I think they feel that way about us. Like honestly, like I think now the 49ers are not as good anymore, and I think that's what they're missing. Like they're not. They feel like they're just as good, even though they've had like everybody was talking about it. They had the easiest schedule in the NFL
Yeah,
coming into this season,
was talking
and
about that this morning.
yeah,
Well, when you finish 4th place in the NFC West, you're gonna play 4th place teams.
yep.
That's people and the 49ers do this shit. Sorry for swearing
Oh, you're
again.
good.
But, they do this thing, and it's been a 49ers thing since, like, the Harbaugh era. They'll suck for, like, 1 year, and
Yep,
then they'll be good for 2 years, and then they'll suck for 2 years and be good for 1 year, and then they'll
yep.
suck to where we've been constantly mediocre since the 2 Super Bowls, which sucks.
Yes.
But at least we're not pick I mean, think about if we had, like, the opportunity to draft Nick Bosa. Think if we had you know what I mean? I mean,
Yeah.
they screwed up the Javon Kinlaw pick. They screwed up the Trey Lance pick. Most
Yeah.
GMs would have been fired. GMs and coaches drafting that big of a bust at quarterback, but they lucked out getting Purdy.
Mm-hmm. That's what saved them. Purdy absolutely saved their jobs.
And I don't even think he's that good. I think they built a badass roster around him to where not saying it's a bad thing, but he can kind of manage the game, which is what we want Darnold to do as
Right.
well. So that's no shade thrown at Purdy. So
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, they probably could be just as good with Mac Jones though, which is crazy.
yeah, Mac
It's
Jones is
crazy.
the next Sam Darnold, except they locked him up for 2 years. I guess they were pissed off that they let Darnold go after 1 year as the backup. Um, that's why they signed Mac Jones to a 2 year deal.
That's smart. That's smart on their part. Anyway, especially
Or
because
they could
Brock Purdy's been hurt a lot. So yeah,
or
it's
they
kind of
could trade him too, because his value there's no quarterbacks in the NFL right now.
No, that's why I'm like, all these folks who are really hating, and shout out to my guy Tina. Me and Tino getting in debate almost every episode, but like he's like, just move on, and like he's not sold on our own. He just wants to find the next guy. And I'm like,
Why?
who are you getting? Like,
Yeah.
what upgrade are you getting from Sam Darnold? It's not happening. Like, it's not.
Yeah, Deshaun Watson, you wanna bring all his baggage over here next year?
Yeah, I'm like, man. Wait, Purdy has a no trade clause. What's up, Steve?
We
Purdy has
weren't
a no
talking
trade
about
clause.
trading we weren't talking about trading Brock Purdy,
Oh yeah, no, we were talking about Mac Jones. Gotcha.
but,
But I didn't know that Purdy. How do you swing that?
I
That's
know
crazy.
Russell Wilson did it and then demanded a trade, so that's you're like,
Yeah,
"I want a no trade clause, but here are the teams I'll go to."
right.
It's like, "Shut up, you dork."
That's- but yeah, man. Yeah, 49ers fans. Sorry, guys. I understand the optimism for the number one seed, and I completely get why they're rooting for us because you want a chance. But I hope that people don't think it'll be as much of a cakewalk because for all of the flaws that that Sam Darnold has, what's up? Um, I think he's still like he kind of seems like a gamer. And to me, here's my take on Darnold. I think the more he gets experience in these type of games,
Mhm.
I think he'll get better. Like, I get that, Matt Stafford is also now considered like a Hall of Famer, but like
Yeah.
before he was with the Rams, like
I was just
they
talking
called him
about the
Stat Stafford, right?
yeah, Pat Stafford,
Matt
and
Stafford.
it's like, okay, let's think about this. How many big games did he win in Detroit?
Exactly.
None. And it's like, okay, look at I realize it's just a match thing, but look at what Jared Goff's doing in Detroit, and he's not bitching
Mhm.
about being in Detroit. And
Yep.
look at all they got for Matt Stafford. I think they do it 10 times over again.
Mhm.
The only reason I think the Rams are fine with it is because of the fact that they won the Super Bowl.
Right.
So you can't really put a price on that. I mean, you win the Super Bowl, the trade works out, right? But if it wasn't for that, yeah, no problem, dude.
You're welcome. Happy to be of service.
Happy to keep your hopes up for 2 weeks
Yep.
until they lose to the Bears, and then they're gonna be like, "Oh, shit."
That'd be funny. That'd be Yeah, definitely gonna be rooting for the Bears.
I like the Bears, so I don't
I do. I think they're a really good team. I'm impressed with their offensive line turnaround. Honestly,
I think they're gonna be pretty good next year. I think the Bears are gonna be pretty good next year because this year I feel like they're still kinda out of sync a little bit,
Mhm.
um, and they have a first-year head coach, so
Yeah,
that runs the offense, so but
yeah,
anyways, so your co-host wants to get rid of Darnold, but
yeah.
yeah, it's like, who are we gonna get? And especially one more year in the offense. Here's an argument I wanted to bring up. They say Darnold's not clutch. We have 3 losses this year. Uh, one of those losses, he did throw an interception, the Buccaneers game, that
Mhm.
kind of cost us the game in the fourth quarter.
But it was
Uh,
tipped.
it was tipped. Yeah, I actually forgot about that. It took me like 2 days later to watch that play because I was just like, oh, screw it, dude. I don't even want to watch it. And I had to watch it before my show on Wednesday because I was like, I better at least watch parts of the game again before I go on here. Um, but the 49ers game, I think, was that a 4 point game. It was like 7-10 or 7-13, maybe.
Mhm.
Uh, drove us all the way down to the what was it, like the 10,
20-30.
13 yard line?
I don't think it was that close. I think it was like 20 yard line maybe.
Okay, got us very
In field
close
goal range, yeah. It
to
was a
scoring.
field goal range, and that's kinda what sucked because like, yeah.
And then the Rams game that we lost, he took the ball down from the half inch line all the way to give Jason Myers an opportunity to kick a 61-yard field goal,
Mhm,
which, as we saw, literally for the last 2 weeks, 60-yard field goals are not impossible.
mhm.
So
Yep, and those aren't just the losses, like, he's had it and they've won because of it, like the Cardinals
the
game
Colts
where they let that
game,
lead go, the defense kinda took the foot off the gas, and then he drove them back, so there are also plenty of wins where, like, he
mhm,
made a drive at the end of the game. Now, most of the time, it's been a field goal, not a touchdown,
that's
so
fine.
that
Oh,
doesn't
we
help
he
his
can only
argument.
control it. He can control, right? He can
Exactly.
if we need a field goal, get us a field goal. That's fine. I'm not complaining about it. The Colts
Exactly.
game, field goal.
Yes.
Um, and then the Rams game, we haven't even talked about overtime to go down. I mean, that was an awesome drive. They just ran the offense. They didn't get too fast. That was the one thing I was nervous about. I was like, take your time. It doesn't matter. Just take your time going down the field. Um, and then they lined up to go for two, and I'm like, okay, go for it. And then the Rams called timeout, and I'm like, okay, kick the field goal. And then the Seahawks lined up again, and then the Seahawks called a timeout, and I'm like, just go for it. And then they're going for it, and I'm like, oh, they should have kicked the field goal. But I'm so happy they went for the win.
Wait, you wanted them to kick a field goal?
At one point, I did because I was so nervous about getting that close and failing. I
Well,
was just being a total wuss.
if they tied, they it would have meant nothing in the standings.
I know. I get it. But, like, as the game, you know what I mean? Just
Oh,
like,
yeah,
okay, kick the
emotion of
field
the game.
goal,
Yeah.
um, get a quick stop by the defense, and then, which is easier said than done because our defense allowed 500 some yards. So uh, that was uncharacteristic. I don't think McDonald's happy with it.
No, and they had like 3 guys out at that point. Like, the reason I want them to go for it at that point is because 'cause I'm like, your defense can't stop any like, Kobe Bryant's out. Uh, J Josh Allen was still in. Reek Willen was out. Who else went out? Somebody else had gone out at that point too.
It was Kobe Bryant, Nick Emmanwori, and Reek Willen, but they
Nicky
would have thought
Memori, that's right.
we
Yeah,
didn't know about Emmanwori. Would have
right,
came back, we didn't find out till
right.
afterwards.
Exactly. Yeah, so I was like, we got 3 guys out with 3 starters out. Defense has been struggling all night. They've done better, but I'm like, we're injured now. I'm like, it's now or never, basically.
Mhm.
So it too many advantages. I really did want them to go forward. I didn't know if they were gonna pull it off
Yeah, I held
that
up
time.
immediately when JSN scored that touchdown, I just held up my fingers. I'm like, 2, go for 2, go for 2, and then I totally pussed out because I was like they lined up and the Rams called timeout. I'm like, "Okay, they saw our look. Let's just kick it." And
Yeah.
then we lined up again, and I'm like, "Ah, man, let's just go for it." It was just so much adrenaline or so much, like, buildup and anxiety
Yes.
when it's like, just take it." The
Like, I'm
miss
still in shock. Like, right
Yeah,
now.
the Rams missed field goal happened right in front of me too, so that was kinda nuts. That was sick.
That's awesome. Dude, you got mojo in that seat going. Like, I need for you to never go, like, eat or anything again. Like, bad things happen when you leave. It's your
No,
fault that for the interception that you
no,
got out of your seat. No, I'm just playing.
something happened. What game was it? The Vikings game. The same seats, dude. Freaking I missed the Ernest Jones pick 6. I hear him, I'm like, yeah. I I don't really drink real beer anymore because I had, like, some liver stuff come back, so I
Mhm.
drink fake beer. Um,
What is fake
well, I
beer?
have, like, 1 or 2 real beers during the game, but, like, I won't drink a bunch during the game because I just wanna, like, be safe and, like, try to lose weight because 'cause I'm getting fat. Um, but
Same,
anyways,
same here.
fake beers, they still make you pee a lot. So so I'm like, peeing and I'm like, "Oh, we gotta stop." And then it just kept getting louder and louder and louder. I'm like, "Something else happened." During the Ernest Jones interception against
Oh,
Minnesota.
wow. Yeah, okay, alright, fair enough then. So not all bad things happen when you leave, okay.
My dad went pee during the Beastquake, so it was just me and
Oh
my
my
mom.
god.
Yeah, it was just me and my mom.
That's incredibly depressing. But
Whatever.
is he in the bathroom and, like, the bathroom shaking? He's like, "Is there an earthquake going on?"
Yeah, so my dad went pee during the Beastquake. Um, I mean, I went to a lot of games with my dad. Obviously, he's the one who got me into it. So he been to like almost all of them from like '02 through 11. So I
Nice.
mean, I went with him to like all the playoff games, the 2005 playoffs. That was sick. I was 7 years old. Didn't really. I just expected us to be good every year and go to the Super Bowl every year. Um, and I kind of lucked out, right?
Makes
Because
sense. Yeah.
we haven't seen the Seahawks be terrible except for '08 and '09, basically my entire lifetime. So
I would have taken being terrible a couple of those years, honestly, but,
yeah, in the
whatever.
scheme of things, until it's happening, because
Yeah,
we haven't. I mean, when it's happening, it sucks. I mean,
yeah.
I was only 11 years old, 11 and 12 years old. And I'm like, man, this is terrible. Losing 12 games in a year. You feel like you're never gonna win, and just watching them get blown out. I mean, I don't know. So under Pete, we never really got blown out very much, but like I think it was 2011 against Kansas City. They came here and just kicked the shit out of us. Maybe it was 2010, and just being there losing like 42-7, you're just like, "Oh my god, this sucks." Or like
Yeah.
the 2017 Rams game, because we don't leave early, we just stay the whole game no matter what.
Mhm.
Um, the 2017 Rams game was a terrible one to sit through. I don't know if you remember that. Uh,
Is no.
that's the
It
year we missed
right,
the playoffs, 2017. Um, so it was the game that Bobby was playing hurt, and then Earl called Bobby out for playing hurt after the game, saying that some
oh,
people just need to stay.
that's right. Okay.
Yeah, it
Yeah, that
sucked.
that was such a depressing year, 'cause that
Oh,
wasn't
yeah,
that
they had the
when
talent.
Sherm, like, tore his ACL at that point.
Now
It's like the
Achilles.
end Achilles. You could just tell.
And then
Yeah,
Cam, same game, Cam.
yeah.
So,
You could
kinda
just
weird.
tell, like, that whole year just had a bad vibe to me. I gotta be honest, I block out a lot of 2017. I just you could feel a decline coming in, like, this tangible way to me. Yeah. The team
Yeah,
was
so
just yeah,
kinda
um,
nuts, kind of Seahawks history thing here, but, uh, obviously, the Malcolm Butler thing happens in, Glendale or, was it State Farm Stadium
mhm,
in Arizona?
mhm,
Same place that Sherm tore his Achilles,
mhm.
uh, Cam hurt his neck,
Damn,
same game,
yeah.
and then the very next year, Earl breaks his leg there and then flips Pete off in Arizona. So all
Isn't
3
that
guys' last games were in Arizona getting hurt, and
didn't
then
Cliff too?
now that was against the Colts at home. I was at that game, but it was in 2017. And then Russell played his last game as a Seahawk in Arizona. So it's
Wait, really?
yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Why don't I remember that?
Uh
That's the
I
year
don't
he
know,
had the
broken finger.
the finger, right?
Yeah,
Came back for the Packers game.
it sucked. I could have scored 0 points.
And we all felt like yeah, we all felt like was it Gino? Gino was his backup then? I think Gino
Yes.
was. Yeah, Gino was the backup then, and we all
Yeah,
felt like
Gino
we were
came
better
in
off
and
with Gino.
sucked. So,
No, well, I thought he had done well when he first came in. He came in again in that Rams game midway through, right? That's when he first hurt his finger, and Gino
yeah.
almost brought them back to the win. And I remember thinking I would have rather seen Gino play than Russ with a broken hand and that stupid
Oh,
doctor's note.
oh my
Yeah,
god,
like
that game, so I was at the stadium and Russ had never missed a game before that. I don't know
right,
if you knew that, but
yeah.
I was like, "Oh, he'll be back." And then I looked down on my phone, it's like gruesome hand injury, and you just see his finger like
Yes, I remember. Oh my god, I remember that so distinctly. I'm like, yeah, he's not coming back. It's like for once, he's not coming back. Yeah, because he had never. I do remember that. Around that time was when I started being more like trying to actively cover the team. So before then, like I didn't actually watch football until 2013. Like, yeah, like 2013. I spent a year watching every team.
Yeah, that's what you're
Like,
saying.
yeah, just neutrally watching every team, trying to get since I know in theory you're supposed to like the Titans, but the Titans have like zero culture. There was like nothing to get behind the Tennessee Titans. And most people around here are like either Steelers fans or Cowboys fans, which I also find both of those fan bases to be particularly annoying, including several family members.
I don't mind
So
Steelers fans. I like Steelers. So,
annoying, dude.
as somebody who's so I've seen actually there's one team I haven't seen in person, or maybe 2. I haven't seen the Patriots in person, and I believe it's the Dolphins? I'd have to I've seen almost every team in person, and the Steelers fans are actually pretty tight, except for they bring their towels, and it's annoying.
Yeah, they're talking a lot of smack, at least here in Memphis. The ones I know are just as annoying as Cowboys fans. Like it's kind of the same.
Cowboys fans suck.
Yeah, they kinda act the same, at least in the South. They may be cool actually, like, the actual real Steelers fans who live there are probably cool, but, like, the ones who are, like, bandwagon fans elsewhere, totally annoying. But
Yeah.
but yeah, that's
Continue,
like
sorry about that. I
yeah.
totally cut you off.
No,
You
no,
spent
no.
you spent every year or you spent 2013
It was
watching
like
every team?
2000 I actually feel like it was 2011 year that I
Yeah, I
just
think
was, like, watching every game, trying to get and so I remember the early, like, LOB days, but I was just really starting to understand football. Like, I understood it by the time I decided to be a fan, but I wasn't covering the team seriously. I was just, like, watching the games, and then I didn't really know how to watch the games as consistently. Like, I was still trying to figure out how to navigate that. Didn't have as reliable of sources as I have now. So yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, I don't have I'm definitely not a history buff at all because it took me a minute before I didn't even care about football. For years I actively hated football for most of my life, which is really crazy now.
That's my thing, I'm a trivia guy. I like, that's, like, one of my number one thing. I like weird facts and stuff. So, um, also, I have, like, a photographic memory, so,
Oh.
like, I can like, one of my earliest memories at the Seahawks games, I don't know why, like, it just sticks into my brain. So, the 2005 divisional round against the Redskins, um, if you look it up, Matt Hasselbeck ran for a touchdown. He kinda slid in with the ball, like, over his head, and I remember that happening, like, right in front of us, and I don't know why that just sticks into my brain, like, I can, like, close my eyes and be there.
That's
So, like,
cool.
weird stuff that happens at the Seahawks games, like, I definitely remember the Romo fumble was sick. That happened on the opposite side, the Romo fumble. Um, yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, I don't have that at all. I hope to be better about that moving forward, but I'm not low key. Like I don't have great sports memories, which is why I'm always like watching like sports documentaries and content and whatever. Like I pretty much absorb it because like otherwise I'll forget. Like if unless I like watch content about it afterwards, I
Wait
won't.
till the LOB 30 for 30. That's gonna be nuts
Oh,
when
it's
that
gonna be
comes out.
incredible. Yeah,
They're gonna make, like, a Netflix special, like an Untold, and hopefully it doesn't suck like the, Florida Gators one. The Gators one, they might as well just they would've called it they should've called it Told because they didn't even talk about the stuff that anybody wanted to hear. Like, they just talked about like, I wanted to hear some Hernandez stuff, some Percy Harvin stuff, like, it was called Untold, and I'm like, "Okay, dude, they're gonna get into this." And then I'm watching it, I'm like, "This is the stuff that everybody knew already.
no,
This sucks."
yeah, it was pretty bad. But I mean, what was it called? Rain City Redemption on YouTube was pretty dope.
What's that one?
It's one of the first ones I like watched. It was actually the first like documentary I watched about like the team.
Oh, I've seen it. Yeah, it starts with,
Yeah,
like, the Jim Mora era. It starts with, like, the one Jim
Pete
Mora y
Hire, yeah,
yeah. No,
and
you're
then
right, yeah,
they
I
worked
like
their
that
way
one.
up to the Super Bowl. Like it was, I mean, underrated, but Rain City Redemption to me is still like the best. It was just a YouTube thing, so it's not gonna get its credit. But the way it was documented,
Yeah.
A1 stuff.
Yeah, they've came out with, like, 10 different, like, series not series, 10 different, like, different cuts of it. Because I know I've watched, like, different ones before.
Yeah, different parts. I think there's probably like 4 or 5, like, different
Yeah.
parts. Yes, it's dope though, like, watching the whole thing. I watched it probably too much. Also because, like, again, like, those details when you're just trying to understand, like like, I was just in the phase of, like, "Okay, so why is that a first down?" Like, that was literally me watching these games, so, like, those details and context gets lost, um, when, like, those things that you were around for, but, like, really go over your head. I didn't really get like why the Pete hire was controversial, for example, until I watched like the Rain City Redemption. Like I didn't have that context. I'm like, okay, cool, Pete.
You're
Uh,
like, "Yeah." I mean, he totally didn't leave USC because he was gonna deal with, like, a bunch of sanctions and problems.
didn't have no like zero context for any
Yeah.
of that.
Yeah, and
Um,
Washington UW fans didn't hate him, for coaching USC. I mean, yeah.
yeah, didn't
The
have
only
any of that context. So anyway, I appreciate history buffs because I enjoy it now that I'm always watching like what do they call it, a football life.
I
Um,
like that, yeah.
yeah, I watch those types of things pretty often when I'm bored, which is
That, that, so when Pete got hired, a lot of people hated it. My dad liked it, and, the reason my dad liked it is because everybody talked about how corny he was, with the rah-rah speeches and stuff, and my dad goes, "At least he gives a shit," because Jim Mora would just be like, and then towards the end, Mike Holmgren, he was just angry all the time. I don't you didn't really you weren't around for that, but he was just
no.
no more happiness, it was just anger.
That's
So,
unfortunate. Well, Super Bowl 40 would do that to you, I would imagine. Yeah.
yes, yeah, so they had a parade, they came back, not like a big parade like we did when we won the Super Bowl, but they talked to, like, the fan if you had season tickets, you got to go down to the stadium,
Oh,
and they kinda announced everybody, and
oh,
then
okay.
Mike Holmgren was like, "Oh, yeah, I knew we were playing the Steelers, I didn't know we were playing the guys in the striped shirts, too." He said that, that was pretty nuts.
He was right. Um, but I digress.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to this game. That circles us back. We start talking about the refs. Back to this game. The implications of this game are crazy. I didn't really envision this team being a number one team in the NFC kind of thing. I kind of thought if they were going to make a run, they go under the radar, and that could still change, right? They still got to go out. They got to beat the Panthers. They got to win out. It's the only way that
Mhm.
they hang on to that spot. But I had always believed that like maybe this would be a next year kind of thing because I do believe that Sam's going to get better in these moments. I hope that he can get better faster and like in the playoffs this year, still at least win one game, right? Like that would be ideal. But to me, I've seen enough. Like I've seen the guy actively work on his flaws. Like I've seen him like as much as I love Gino, and I did it. I love Gino. Like the Sam actually does a better job of like working on the things that he needs to work on to prevent the interceptions. Like Gino's out here like that's football, brother. and and Sam is like getting better at his ball security. Like you can see how he's more intentional with that in terms of the fumbles. He still fumbles the ball too much, but like you can see him working on it. You can see him like going through his progressions and being intentional about that instead of locking in on one guy, which he did versus the Rams game often. You can see him running now because there were several times that I'm like, dude, just
Take off.
run, like just run for the first down, and now he's doing it a little bit more. That kind of
He's
stuff.
white. He's not that fast. You gotta realize that. He is white,
Yeah,
so he
yeah.
can't run.
There are some fast white guys. I think Josh Allen will have something to say about that.
Um,
But,
sorry, I
but
had
yeah, he's not that. I mean, athleticism isn't his thing. But I'm just like, I mean, sometimes it's like 3 yards. Where a lot of times he pissed me off because he roll out left or right, and then he'd be looking down the field, and then he throw this boneheaded interception. I'm like, dude, like you could have gotten that. Like you
I'm tired
just
of
run.
I'm really tired of, I guess I'll bring this up. I know we're running short on time, but I'm tired of Sam Darnold rolling out to the left. I've, like, seen enough of him rolling out to the left this year. I don't think he ever rolls out to the right.
Yeah, he does.
Um, I don't maybe it's just something that pisses me off, but I'm like, he has to do a pirouette basically because he's rolling out to the left, turn around, set his feet, and then find the receiver. I'm like, dude, maybe just he's a right-handed quarterback. Maybe just do a play action, have him roll to the right. Seems a little bit easier, but what do I know? I'm sitting on my couch drinking beer, eating potato chips, and these guys, these guys care a little bit more than I do. So,
Now, I will say, I think I remember him doing that on the road, so I can
mhm.
100% remember, like, see why you would remember him doing it on like in person because the home games. Can I just say this? When
Mm.
they're at home, Clint Kubiak has the worst offensive game plans. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. But for almost every home game, it's like the offense looks like it's pulling teeth sometimes, unless you're the Saints, right? Or something
Or the Cardinals.
yeah, Cardinals or something stupid like that. Like against legit teams, I don't get it, but he doesn't. He seems to do exactly what he should. Like even the Colts game, right? Because that
Oh,
was
yeah,
a
they kicked a
stupid
lot of
game
field
plan.
goals.
Stupid game plan. Like you're doing exactly what the Colts want you to do. Like the Colts, they don't have. really they didn't have the patch, but they just seem like they're doing these intermediate route. I mean, like, I'm just like, we got Shaheed. Let's blow him off top, and even on defense, I'm like, come on, like
Yeah, it's like
it's Phillip Rivers. Like,
I thought
challenge him, jump the routes, make it hard for him to do those short, quick passes. And both game plans, I think, for the past 2 games have sucked. Frankly,
oh, yeah, I agree, because that's what I was gonna say. I was like, the Colts game, I gave him a pass because I go, "Oh, I think they're trying to keep it vanilla," and going into the Rams game, that's when they're gonna show all their stuff, and then they came out for the Rams game, and they looked exactly like they did against
it's
the
the Colts game.
Colts.
Yes,
So, I yeah,
I'm like, why are we running zone?
mhm.
Matt Stafford can this offense.
Yeah,
Sean
he picks it
McVay
apart.
knows how to kill that. Like, how many times have we seen Sean McVay kill that? And I'm like, we just look like a Pete Carroll team right now. I don't understand
Yeah,
what
he'll just
we're
have
doing.
a receiver just squat in between in the middle of the field where nobody is,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So,
And that hasn't been what they've been doing. They've been being sticky in coverage. They were using Rick Woolen more. They were forcing guys to it was forcing Stafford to make big plays, which he can do, but like you saw him have to work for it in the
mhm,
first matchup. I don't even know if your defense why you change anything because the defense wasn't what went wrong in that first matchup.
no
Um,
kidding.
yeah, yeah. So I don't really get Mike. He does a great job of taking responsibility and accountability, and being like, "Hey, I could have put the guys in better position." But I think the game plans as of late both, I mean, defense the past couple of games, but particularly on offense, I would say since like week 7 or 8, like when teams started trying to basically started doing too high shell coverages, like it seems like we
Mhm.
turtled up and we became super conservative and we're trying to run, which has been working to some extent, but I just don't think
Hey,
that, yeah, like you got Shaheed for a reason, take advantage of him. I know the chemistry thing is a factor, but like, I don't know. And I know they
the
missed
end
Corey
around was
Gordon.
perfect.
Yes.
Yeah, somebody, claimed he was Percy Harvin without the baggage, and I'm like, "Yeah, that's pretty cool."
Mhm. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. It's about right.
yeah, we had our first 100-yard rusher on or I guess Thursday, since week 3 against the Steelers, I believe, was the last 100-yard rusher.
You mean on
Yeah,
defense?
nope. I mean, Kenneth Walker rushed for 100 yards. We haven't had a 100-yard rusher since the week 3 against Pittsburgh,
You're kidding.
swear.
Oh my god, that's awful.
And he rushed.
That's awful. I mean, I guess you're right. I mean, he's had some games where he's gotten close, like 80 yards or
Yeah, but
maybe
Charbonnet
90.
hasn't had a 100-yard game all season. So we haven't had a single 100-yard rusher since week 3 at Pittsburgh. And by the skin of his teeth, I think he had exactly 100 yards against the Rams.
You know what though? Again, I blame Kubiak. And I know I'm gonna put a lot of crap on Kubiak because I feel like I did have a little high expectations. He's been failing me as of late. I think he's still much better than anything we've had in like 6 years.
Duh.
But
Really, I think since Daryl Bevel,
yes,
honestly.
pretty much. Yeah, I
So
would agree.
10
I would agree
years.
with that. So I mean, you take the good with the bad, but this 50-50 split still, I think we talked about this the last time, but like they had started to do better about putting Ken and getting him in a rhythm for a few weeks, and just they seem to have just completely gone backwards. And of course, you don't have a 100-yard rusher when like no team in the NFL does a 50-50 yard split. Literally no one. And so, yeah, I mean, how can you get 100 yards when you're on the field only half the time?
Yeah, I think really bad teams do that. I think,
Yes.
like, you know, or a team that has, like, a rookie, like a high profile rookie, like, they split. I guess he's not a rookie, but, the guy from Texas that plays for the Panthers, they split him, like, 50-50 with Hubbard.
Oh, Rico Dottle. It's not 50-50. Rico
Oh, really?
Dottle and Chuba Hubbard, it's not. It's
Yeah,
like 60-40. But
yeah.
there's still a lead back. Like most teams do. If you're doing a split, you do 60-40. There's still somebody that gets the majority of the carries. Now, the Panthers, I do think that has changed. I believe they were giving most of the bulk of the carries to Chuba Hubbard, and then they've now switched that over to Rico Dottle, and he's
Yeah, I
kind of
think
the new
Hubbard's
lead guy
been
now.
getting less.
Hmm. Which makes sense. Like anyway, what's crazy about last thing on the running game? What's crazy about it is I don't even mind using them both I just feel like he's gotta ride the hot hand better. So K9 was Kim, he had his best game of his career, would you say? Like, that's
Eh,
kinda how I feel.
all around, yeah,
Yeah,
probably, but that the
yeah,
first drive, so, yeah.
it did. It got him in a rhythm, which is why I mean, if you got a guy that's doing well, ride him out a little bit, like, see what all he can do before he just arbitrarily throws at
Walker had on I keep saying Sunday, Thursday,
Thursday.
where he started going left, and then I think he ran about 50 yards all the way
Full
across the
50
field,
around to get 2
and
yards.
I'm at the stadium, so I'm like, "Oh, that had to be at least, like, 10 yards." No, it was, like, 2. Yeah.
2 yards.
Yeah, and he ran so the width of the field is 53 yards, I believe. So,
Mhm.
he ran probably like 60, 70 yards that play to gain 2 on the stat sheet.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, now I will say in his defense, I don't kill that move because he was
no.
dead to rights. He was dead to rights. That was his
Yeah,
best shot, and at least he got positive yards because sometimes he does that and he goes backwards. That pisses me off more. Um,
and
but
if you rewatch that play,
Mhm,
if JSN would have blocked instead of, uh he picked up a guy that was kinda, like, out of the play. If he would have picked the guy up that tackled, Kenneth Walker, he would have
mhm.
been gone.
Yeah, because I mean, it was a I get what he was doing because he would have housed it, and with the
Mhm,
rhythm he was having, in fact, I really think that motivated him when they came out of the halftime. When they came out of halftime, and K9 like home hits that home run touchdown.
mhm.
I'm like, it's the only way he's getting touchdowns. Like he's not getting them any other way unless he houses it. So I kind of this year I kind of get why he dances. Now you're right, he does do that too much, but yeah, if he wants a touchdown, he's got to get it from like the 50-yard line. It's the only
Do you
way.
remember the 3rd and 15 play last game? It was like 3rd and 15, they handed the ball off to Walker and he
Yeah,
got the first down. He,
that was
so
incredible.
when they handed the ball off, this guy behind me booed, and then I made fun of him for it because he booed when they handed the ball off, which I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, "Oh, they gave up," and then he got it, and
He got that.
I go, "Keep booing, it's good luck," and I think he thought I was, like, just being an absolute dick to him, but I wasn't, so I think he was, like, super butthurt that I called him out for booing, 'cause, like, "Who booed?" And then he's like, "It was me." And I was like, "Dude, boo next time too. Maybe you'll break it off." And I think he thought I was being a dick.
But okay, I heard some boos in the crowd, and I will just say that makes me mad.
I'm not a
It
booer.
does.
I
It
don't
makes
boo my own team. Sorry. I boo as you saw, I have shorts. I boo the shit out of like the referees. I boo the shit out of the Rams, the opposing team.
for sure.
Um there was there was one call, that unnecessary roughness on Okada.
Mhm.
I booed, and then they called them on holding literally the next play, so it was 1st and 20, so it basically negated the call. It was like a 5-yard penalty instead of a 15, and everybody started cheering, and I go, "Don't cheer these guys, they just fucked up." Like, they literally just messed up. Don't cheer them for doing their job correctly this time. I was pissed.
I get that. I completely get that. And I'm not even against booing in general. I feel like there are times when like I think it edges on to like be more entertaining and like more so than like the product actually sucks and because like when Sam's struggling, I'm hearing boos on the TV, and I'm like, okay, great, because yeah, that's gonna help his confidence. I'm like, this team is like, it's still, they didn't want 11 games at that point. Like,
Mhm.
this team is a good, like, it's a good product. It's not a team to boo, and just because things aren't going well, like in my opinion at least, the job is to like lift them up and encourage them and give them the edge. Like if they're struggling, the crowd can help them get back into it. And if they're just hearing boos when they're not doing well, like I don't know, I
I've
think it kinda defeats the purpose.
I've seen this crowd do this since I've been a kid. When I was, let's see, it would have been '07. It was 2 years after Alexander's MVP season. There's a bunch of people that booed him when he was getting introduced out of the tunnel because he was always hurt and running out of bounds. Yeah, people booed him, and, like, from that moment on, I was like, "I'm never booing one of my own guys." Yeah, so it's not new. Like, people have done this forever.
It's such entitlement to me. I don't know. I just fans are supposed to be there to support the team, And if the team is like, if they've won 3 games, all right, fair enough. You know what I mean? Like, I think
Not
there's a
even
point
no,
where
I
I will
don't.
accept booze, but like if it's a trash team, I guess to make a point. But this is not a trash team, dude. Don't boo these guys. They're working hard.
Yeah, and then yeah, I don't know. I don't mind booing the other team. Like I booed the shit out of Russell Wilson when he came back.
Well,
I was one of the loudest. That was sick. You know what? And I rewatched that on TV as soon as I got well the next day because it was a Monday night game. And a lot of people hate Joe Buck and Troy Aikman. I actually like them, believe it or not. I don't think they get too excited, which is do you know who Gus Johnson is?
I know the name.
I hate Gus Johnson. He's just too over the top. Um, I just like old school announcers that don't get too excited, even though I do like Kevin Harlan. I think he does a good job.
I think Kevin Harlan's great.
But and he kind of gets excited.
So
But
do you like Al Michaels? Cause like,
because he given up. Al Michaels with Chris here's so Chris Collinsworth and Al Michaels were really good together.
yeah, they
And
were.
then Al Michaels with Kirk Herbstreit aren't very good. And Mike Tirico was awesome with Gruden, and Mike Tirico sucks with Collinsworth, and Collinsworth sucks with. It's like the pairing of these guys has to be right in
Yeah,
order to be good.
I can see that. Cause Al Michaels is taking a turn, but I can see how if you put Colin back with Al, how it could work better. I still think both of them are not the best versions of themselves anymore,
Oh yeah,
but it could be a better product. I agree. I can see that. That's a good point.
but
Yeah.
yeah,
Anyway, I don't think I've got too much other than like it looking at the playoffs, like moving ahead really quick.
hmm
Who would you rather play? Like first round of the playoffs, assume they get the bye. Um, it's possible that they could either play the 49ers, they could end up playing the Rams. And of course, I mean, I don't really know if Tampa's going to come out of this thing if they even if they secure the division. I don't know if they're coming out of this thing. Um, but between those two, if the Seahawks have to play their first game in the playoffs against either the 49ers or the Rams, who would you rather it be?
the 49ers.
Yeah, okay. That's what I
I'm
thought.
hoping it's the Packers. Without Micah Parsons, I hope it's the Packers. I would like to see the Packers or the Bears or any team from the South, and that's no disrespect towards them. That's just I'd rather see them than a team that's seen us 3 times, or it'll be the third time seeing us, which I
Mhm.
get. We've seen them twice as well, but I don't know. I just feel like we're kind of the best division in football this year. So,
We are.
um, well, I think we're gonna have if we make it to the NFC Championship. I think we're gonna run into the Rams or the 49ers.
Yeah,
Actually, I think we're gonna run into the Rams at some point. I think we're the best 2 teams in the NFL. I don't know about the 49ers. I could see them choking and, like, losing to the Eagles or something, but
maybe, maybe. You would hope so, but I actually think it's like if there's a case scenario where I believe they have to play both of these guys to get to the NFC West Championship, and I don't know how that could go, or it is in the NFC Championship. I don't know how
yeah,
that would go.
it'd be weird, but that's okay. That's why they let, like, a billion teams into the playoffs now, and this is just bound to happen. So,
Yeah, pretty much. When 3 teams in your own division can get in, it's gonna get crazy. I almost say, I mean, because of the bye, I want the number 1 seed, but the
mhm.
advantage to being the 5 seed would be that you get to play somebody that's not in your own division at this point and then go in and have that second game be against would more than likely be the Rams.
Yeah,
So
or, we play better on the road, so
yeah, that too. And we do. The game plans are better on the road. I stand by that.
the
Uh,
last real home game we've had in the playoffs, though, is in 2016. So, um, so that'd be cool to get one here.
yeah.
Um, I mean, we had one in 2020, but that doesn't really count because the
No, we have no
stadium
chance.
was empty. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
oh,
you weren't in the few. Like, didn't they let in a few people for that
never in
game?
Seattle. This is no, not in Seattle. They took that lockdown for real in Washington.
Oh, that's right. That's true. That were okay. That's right.
You guys
All
could
right.
probably do whatever down there. You guys can just they probably had I saw college stadiums, they were filling up still during, like, 2020.
Memphis was pretty like our city, like the state of Tennessee was terrible about it, but like Memphis, our city, we were pretty like locked
chill
down
about
about
it.
it, honestly. Yes, because the sensible thing would be to take precaution, at least in the city of Memphis. And I can't speak for Nashville, but they actually thought the opposite. Because yeah,
Nashville, dude.
but anyway,
But
anyway,
yeah,
Joe, appreciate you coming on, man.
yeah. Sorry for talking your ear off. I will probably see you in 2 weeks if that's cool.
Yeah, it'd be great. It'd be 100% awesome. Always enjoy talking it up with you. Tell people what you got coming up.
My YouTube channel is Seahawk Talk. No spaces, no S's except the first one. And then
Oh,
yeah, that's about
the
it. I
wheels start
just
to land.
do live streams on Wednesdays.
Okay, you're back. I think I lost you for a second.
Oh, you're good. We
All
do
right.
Seahawks coast to coast on Wednesdays.
Awesome. Good stuff. Well, appreciate having you on. That's it. That's all the time we have for today. That's out. That's all. We're out. And as always, go Hawks.
Hell yeah. Thank